Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and today I wanted to make a video on materia synthesis because now I have officially 7,777 materia synthesis performed, and I wanted to share how far I have gotten, how much progress I have made with my materias with such big amount of synthesis performed. So with almost 8,000 syntheses performed, you might think that I have some godly materias with some god rolls, and it couldn't be further from the truth because most of my materias are average or decent at best, and I do not have a single god roll. But I also know some people who have some god rolls, like real god rolls, even 5-star with god rolls, and they haven't even performed 3,000 materia synthesis yet. So the reality is that materia synthesis is just a RNG slot machine with more RNG inside of it and even more RNG on top of it. It's just pure RNG, and it's about you getting lucky because yes, the more materia synthesis you perform, the more chances you have to get more lucky, but it doesn't mean you are guaranteed to get lucky at some point. It's just pure RNG. And your luck isn't stacking up so eventually you get something good. No, it's just RNG. And with that, I can show you some of my best materias, and let's start with some physical attack materias. So my best materia is the Fire Blow with physical attack 6.5, and it's my only materia that has above 6%. All the other ones, they have 5.3, and this one it has 5%. So I have 7 materias with 5% physical attack. And also about materias, when you synthesize elemental materia, so Fire Blow, Aurora Blow, or Thundera Blow, you want to have, if it's physical, you want to have a physical attack, ideally with a percentage stat. Flat stats, they are not ideal, they will never be as powerful, so that's why you want to have elemental materia with, if it's physical, then you want physical attack with percentage stat on it, because that's when it can become really powerful. The only exception I would say are the magical ruins or the ruin blows, where it doesn't really matter because we never use those materias to do any DPS, it's just for sigil breaking, or if you don't need any materias to use them practically in battle, then you can just, it doesn't matter, because even then we have some bosses, for example Rufus or Behemoth, where we shouldn't use any magical sigils or any magical attacks. Then you want to use, even on a magical DPS, you want to use a physical ruin. So for me personally, I want to have both ruiners, so a physical ruin and magical ruin with both good stats in case I need them. But other than that, if you have some Asunas, well, if you have, for example, I have one healing Asuna Fog, I have 4.9 physical attack. It's not ideal because unless you are playing co-op, you never want to put any healing materials on your DPS characters unless you will control them throughout the whole battle, because mostly the AI will think it will prioritize to heal instead of do DPS, so that's why you ideally don't want any stat stakes on your curing materials, or at least equip them on your DPS characters. Lightning Breach, those are those 3 breaches that we can buy in the Crisis store, and I always recommend to buy that if you have enough medals, because we don't have a lot of them, but those 3 we could buy since launch. And at the very beginning of the game, where we had just grey or green materias, those purple ones, they could become really good stat stick. This one, I would often use it because I was lucky enough with 4.8% physical attack, and was great for me just as a stat stick. But that's basically it. Below that is just 8%, and it slowly goes lower with each one. But for my magic attack, it doesn't seem any better because my best magic attack is 6.7%, but it's on fire blow. So the only time I can use this materia is if I don't need to use any ability, and I can use it in a slot just as a stat stick. Other than that, it's the second one is already also to 5.2%, and that water is great because it has 5.2 magic attack on it. So for practical reasons, it's great to use. But on that also already here it's 5%, and then everything else is just below that. But also Fire Breach with 4.7, also amazing stat stick. That's why, especially if you are a new player, it is great to buy those breaches, because yes, you can always use them. Even now, after 6 months of playing, I still use those 3 breaches when I need, well, fire not anymore because I have Sephiroth, but Ice Breach, Lightning Breach, I always use them whenever we have a Ice boss or a Lightning boss. So they are great, I will never say anything bad about them. But also then HP. I have just this 5-star is one I have recently gotten, 8% HP, and that's my only materia with anything above 7%. It is great because it's also amazing materia for a physical DPS, because I have that 5.3 physical attack on it. But then I already have 6.8. That was one of my very first 5-star materials I've gotten, so it is what, maybe 4 months old, but it's still one of my best ones. And then it's already up to 5% from here. Also, most of my 5-star materials, they are not good at all, because it's, for example, fire right here. I have 5% heal and then 4.8 HP, and it's great. It would be great if it was for a healer, but ideally you want to have those 5-star elemental materials to do DPS. So this one, it quite sucks because it has only 21 points into magical attack, and it's not great because ideally you want percentage. And then my last one will be heal. I personally never care about magical or physical defense. This is the stat, yes, it is quite important. If you get it as a bonus, great, but I don't prioritize it. For me, always heal, HP, magical, and physical attack are my priorities. So for heal, I also just got it yesterday, on the healing Asuna, and it has some good stats, like HP is not great, but it's still there, so I appreciate it, but 7% heal, and that's my highest one. And then I have Warrior Blow, which is most terrible 5-star. It has no physical attack on it at all. Terrible other flats, and just 5.4 heal. And, well, like I said, my 5-stars are not good at all. And then it's just back to everything just has 5%. And just to give you an idea why my materials are average at best, the 4-star materias, they go up to 10%. So yes, if you get a gold roll on 4-star materia, you can get 10% on physical attack, magical attack, HP, somewhere 10%. On 5-star materia, you can get up to 16% on a single stat. So you can get a 5-star materia with 16% physical attack, and that is crazy. But also, this is what we know so far. It might not be a 100% gold roll. These are the stats that we have seen on other people who have gotten so lucky with them, and it's crazy to even imagine to have a materia with 10 or 16% stat on something. But yes, I haven't bought any extra slots, but I am slowly thinking about it. Yes, I am trying to keep my materials, just a little bit of them, but for example on the runes and rune blows, as I said, I want to have both stats, so both for example a X sigil rune and ruin blow, I want to have one with magic attack and the other one, at least one with the physical attack, so I can always switch them in case I need it for a specific boss. And mostly it also doesn't matter if you use a physical or magical one, it's just the stats that matter. Your power level, the numbers of your team power, they don't matter. But also I would recommend also keeping or making one good mana ward or the other barrier, just to, in case you need it. For example, I need the physical shield for Bahamut. I might need it in the future, but also I have recently made some healing as soon as, so poison ideal with some heal on it, because that's what you want to use on your healer. And also just recently I was making fog, and I would say even for co-op you might want to have, for example, one Asuna fog for your healer for single player, so to have one with heal. So this is perfect one with 7% heal, because I can put it on my healer and it will boost his stats. But also then for co-op, when you control your DPS, and for example you're doing Shiva, who will inflict a fog status on you, or Rufus, anyone, then I have one with 3.3 magic attack on it. So far, yes, it could be better. It would be ideal if 4.9 was magic attack, but I have it just in case. So I'm slowly thinking about expanding my materia slots, because 100 it seems like a lot, but when you want to have good materia, so even multiple ones of the same sort of materia, then it starts becoming really tricky, because then you have to sacrifice some other materias and get rid of them. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just thinking about it. But 50, they cost 50 crystals, it doesn't matter red or blue, but 50 crystals for 5 slots, so you can expand it. I have seen some people with 150 slots, 200 slots, but yeah, they cost crystals, and that's my problem. But also I have 9 5-star materias. Not all of them are real materias, those natural materias that I have gotten from materia synthesis. Some of them have evolved, so when I got them they were 4 stars, and a few times they have evolved into a 5 star. So for example, my Cura with 3.8 heal, which is really nice, it was a 4 star that just evolved when I upgraded it. But my, where is it? Obtained. So yeah, this was the very first 5-star materia I have gotten with that 6.8% HP, and until now I still like to use it. Then I have gotten this Tantara Blow, which is a terrible one. Well, it's not terrible, but it could be so much better. It has all flats and that's plus 30 on physical attack. It's very meh. But this one is my proudest materia. It is trash. It is complete garbage. It's terrible. You cannot get any worse. And so far I have seen some people with pretty bad 5-star materials, but no one was ever close to that. So I call it my king of trash, and I don't think anyone can beat it. Because those flats and so little of them, it's like nothing. But then I have also Aurora, which is also terrible because plus 7 to magic attack and nothing else really. It's not good. This one's also not great because it went so much into heal. So those are really those materials you can use them mostly on a healer ideally. But then Cura and also this Runer, I actually like it. It's one of my recent ones as well. 4.8 into magic attack. It's fine, but also Water Blow. Again with the heal, I don't know, I'm just getting very unlucky with those heal stats on my 5-star materials. And my Runer, which I would consider my best 5-star materia because it has that physical attack over 5%. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All my materials. And like I said, I don't have a single gold roll or anything that's close to that. But I can't complain. I'm not complaining. I'm very happy that I have finally some 5-star percentage on multiple options whenever I need them. I hope to eventually get some better ones, because I am still working. I've been working recently to get all my sigil materials to at least 3%. So mostly just on those runeras and rune blows, I don't mind if it's a 3-star or a 4-star, because I just want those good stats, and some of them, they have better stats. Here's a magical runera 4-star with 3.4, but also here I have with 3.5, and so I don't mind. As long as it gives me better stats, I will use it. But for the elemental materials, it matters, because if you get a 4-star, it is 287 physical or magical damage, the elemental damage. 5-star materia, the elemental materia, it will give you 300 physical or magical elemental damage. And that means even if you get a 5-star materia that doesn't have great stats, it will still do more damage than your 4-star. You need a 4-star with godly stats, so 10% to physical attack, which is not something anyone will ever get, most likely. You would need that to be able to compete with even a bad 5-star elemental materia. So that's why even if you get a elemental 5-star that doesn't have great stats, it will still be useful in case if you ever need to use that materia. But we don't have all the elemental weapons yet, so sometimes we need to use those materias, and in those cases when you need to use them, those 5-stars, even with terrible stats, they will still perform better. But yeah, that's just basically my talk about materias and what I have personally learned from my experience. Also, in the past, I was hoping that was just copium, that every 1,000 materia synthesis performed, I was hoping that we would get that guaranteed 5-star, because yes, 1,000 materia synthesis is a lot, so it would be nice if we would get at least one 5-star, just guaranteed somewhere, but it's not the case, it's just random. But yeah, so I hope I explained that. Also, you found this video insightful, at least from my experience, so someone who performed a lot of materia synthesis. But yeah, it's just whatever. Also, I would have forgotten, I also want to mention that when we do materia synthesis, if you just select any materia, it might be anything. It might be, if you do not add any materials, it can be anything. 1-star, it can be a 5-star. I have seen some people who have 5-star materials with 0 materials added. And basically the only thing you guaranteed when you add materials, so I could add all those catalysts to make the synthesis level max, and it will not guarantee me a 4-star, it will never guarantee me a 5-star. All it does, it guarantees that we'll not get a 2-star or 1-star materia. It just guarantees us that bare minimum. So 3-star with 3 substats, that's all. It doesn't raise our chances for a 4-star materia or a 5-star materia. No, it just guarantees that bare minimum. And then it's just RNG if we get more lucky or we don't. Just so you know, at least from my perspective and my experience, it does nothing. It doesn't increase our chances. It just guarantees that bare minimum that we have achieved with the materia synthesis, the level. But yeah, so I hope you found this video insightful and helpful, and maybe also you learned some new things. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.